Silver coins in an open palm. The hand is not steady. There is a tremor in the fingers, the kind that comes not from cold but from something deeper, something that has entered the blood and will not leave. The palm is open, but there is no offering here, only a man holding what he can no longer bear to hold. The coins do not shine. They are dull, worn, ordinary. 30 pieces. The price of a slave, the price of innocent blood. The hand closes, then opens again. The weight has not changed. Nothing has changed. And yet, for him, it feels as if everything has ended. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 27, verses 3 through 5, records what happened next. Then Judas, his betrayer, seeing that Jesus had been condemned, was seized with remorse and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. "I have sinned," he said, "for I have betrayed innocent blood." "What is that to us?" they replied. "That is your responsibility." So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. These are the words. They are spare. They are final. They contain no comfort and no resolution, only a sequence of actions that leads from the temple to the field, from confession to silence. Judas returns. This is the first fact. He does not flee with the money. He does not spend it. He does not hide it. He brings it back. The man who sold his master for 30 pieces now carries those 30 pieces through the streets of Jerusalem, back to the men who paid him. The transaction is complete, and yet he seeks to reverse it. The kiss has been given. The arrest has been made. The trial is underway. Christ stands before Pilate, and Judas walks in the opposite direction, toward the temple, toward the priests, toward the only men who know what he has done because they paid him to do it. He enters the temple, not as a worshiper, not as a pilgrim, not as a penitent seeking the altar of sacrifice. He enters as a man carrying a weight that has become unbearable. The bag is in his hands. The coins are inside. He has counted them. He has held them. He has felt their weight every moment since the garden. Now he wants them gone. He wants the transaction undone. He wants to return the price, and somehow, by returning it, return to the moment before the price was paid. He speaks. According to Matthew, his words are exact. "I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood." Every word is true. He has sinned. He has betrayed. The blood is innocent. There is no denial here, no excuse, no mitigation. Judas does not say he was deceived. He does not say he did not understand. He does not blame the priests or the circumstances or the pressure of events. He says, "I have sinned," the first person singular, the verb in the perfect tense, the action completed, the guilt owned, and yet. Saint Augustine, in his Sermon 352, examines this confession and finds it wanting. Augustine distinguishes between confessing sin and seeking forgiveness, between admitting guilt and pursuing reconciliation. Judas confesses, Augustine observes, but he does not convert. He acknowledges the crime, but he does not seek the remedy. His words are true, but they are spoken to the wrong audience, in the wrong place, with the wrong intention. He confesses to men who cannot absolve him. He seeks relief from those who have no power to give it. The confession is an accusation of himself, but it is not a prayer. It is not addressed to God. It is addressed to the priests who paid him, as if they could undo what only grace can heal. Saint John Chrysostom, in his homilies on the Gospel of Matthew, makes a similar observation. Chrysostom notes the uselessness of returning the silver without returning to God. The coins can change hands, but the soul cannot be cleansed by a financial transaction. Judas seeks to reverse the external act while leaving the internal wound untouched. He wants the money gone, but he does not want mercy. He wants the weight lifted, but he does not kneel beneath it. He confesses to men who used him and now discard him. He does not confess to the one he betrayed, who at that very moment stands silent before his accusers, who even now would receive him if he came. The priests respond. Their words are recorded in Matthew, and they are as cold as the coins Judas holds. What is that to us? That is your responsibility. In the original Greek, the phrase is even more dismissive. What is that to us? You will see to it. They refuse the burden. They reject the confession. They will not take back what they paid. They will not share the guilt. They will not offer counsel or comfort, or even acknowledgement. Judas was useful to them. Now he is not. The transaction served their purpose. His anguish does not. Chrysostom reflects on this abandonment with severity. The priests, he observes, were eager to employ Judas when they needed him. They negotiated the price. They arranged the signal. They sent the guards. But now that the work is done, they have no further use for their instrument. They do not dispute that Christ is innocent. They do not deny that Judas has betrayed him. They simply refuse to be involved in the consequences. The sin is his. The guilt is his. The despair is his. They wash their hands before Pilate does. Saint Jerome, in his commentary on Matthew, notes that Judas has come to the wrong place. The temple is the house of God, but Judas does not seek God there. He seeks the priests. He confesses to men, not to the one who dwells in the Holy of Holies. The temple could have been a place of repentance. The sacrifices were offered there. The altar stood there. The mercy seat was there, behind the veil, where the presence of God rested. But Judas does not approach the altar. He approaches the men who hired him. He brings the silver to the treasury, not his soul to the throne of grace. Jerome sees in this a fatal misdirection. Judas knows he has sinned, but he does not know where to bring his sin. Saint Thomas Aquinas, in the Summa Theologiae, second part of the second part, question 19, article 3, distinguishes between two kinds of fear, servile fear and filial fear. Servile fear is the fear of punishment. It dreads the consequences of sin, but does not love the one offended. It seeks escape, not reconciliation. Filial fear, by contrast, is the fear of a child toward a father. It dreads sin because sin offends the one who is loved. It seeks forgiveness not to escape punishment but to restore the relationship. Aquinas observes that servile fear, while not evil in itself, is insufficient for salvation if it remains servile. The soul that fears only punishment and does not love the good has not yet converted. This is the fear that drives a man to return stolen money without returning a stolen heart. Judas throws the coins. Matthew records the action without commentary. The Greek word suggests violence, a hurling, a rejection. The coins scatter across the stone floor. The sound must have echoed in that sacred space. The clatter of metal on marble, the price of innocent blood ringing through the courts where the sacrifices were offered. The priests watch. The coins lie where they fall. No one picks them up. No one calls after Judas. No one follows him to the door. The prophet Zechariah, in chapter 11, verses 12 and 13, wrote centuries before, "And I said to them, if it seems good to you, give me my wages, but if not, keep them. So they weighed out for my wages 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter the lordly price at which I was priced by them." Matthew sees in Judas's action the fulfillment of this prophecy. The silver is thrown, the price is returned, the transaction collapses back upon itself. He has given back everything except himself. This is the paradox that remains when the coins have stopped rolling and the temple has returned to silence. Judas returned the silver. He confessed the sin. He named the blood innocent. He spoke the truth. And yet it could never be enough by itself. Returning the silver without returning to Christ was never going to be enough. The restitution was external. The confession was verbal. The truth was accurate but incomplete. He gave back the 30 pieces, but he did not give back his heart. He confessed to the priests, but he did not confess to God. Augustine asks, what would have happened if Judas had gone not to the priests but to Christ? What if, instead of entering the temple to find the men who paid him, he had sought the one he betrayed? Christ was still alive. The cross had not yet been raised. Peter had denied, and Peter would be forgiven. Peter would weep, and his tears would be received. Peter would hear the question 3 times by the Sea of Galilee, "Do you love me?" And 3 times Peter would answer, and 3 times he would be restored. The same mercy was available to Judas. The same Christ who would forgive Peter, who would forgive the thief on the cross, who would pray for those who crucified him, would have forgiven Judas. But Judas did not go to him. The Church has never pronounced a definitive judgment on Judas's eternal destiny. That mystery belongs to God alone. What the tradition does underline, again and again, is that despair and self-destruction are not inevitable, and that mercy remains offered as long as life remains. He carries nothing now. His hands are empty. The bag is gone. The silver is gone. The weight of the coins is no longer in his palm, and yet he is heavier than before. The weight has shifted. It has moved inward. Mercy, however, was not gone. As long as he lived, the door of forgiveness remained open to him. What was closing was not God's heart, but Judas's willingness to turn back. He gave back everything he could give back. He spoke every word he could speak, and yet what he needed to give was not the silver. What he needed to speak was not a confession to men who did not care. What he needed was to fall at the feet of the one he betrayed and say, "Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner." He did not say it. He did not go. He walked away toward the end he had chosen. The temple received the silver. As far as the gospel shows us, no one on earth received Judas. The coins were gathered. The blood money would later buy a potter's field, a burial ground for strangers. And the question remains, suspended in that silence, why did he not go to Christ? Why did he go to the priests? Why did he return the money but not himself? There is no answer in the text. There is no explanation offered, only the sequence of actions, recorded without commentary. Judas confessed. Judas returned the silver. Judas spoke the truth. The confession without conversion, the restitution without reconciliation, the truth without trust, the guilt that sought escape instead of mercy. The silver is returned. The soul is not, at least, not in any way the gospel lets us see. What happened between Judas and God in his final heartbeat is a secret that no writer, no preacher, and no camera can enter. That judgment belongs to God alone. Scripture does not open to us what may have passed in that last instant. The Church has never issued a definitive judgment on his eternal fate. His story remains in the gospel not to seal a fate, but to warn every heart that feels trapped by its own sin. Do not carry the weight alone, and do not run from the only one who can forgive you.